Good morning, children. Today we are going to continue with the respiratory system. In last classes we were seeing what are the different types of respiration. There are two types of respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration, and the steps of respiration. The respiration, we can divide the respiration in two steps. One is breathing and one is cellular respiration. Breathing involves the intake of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide. That is, breathing involves inhalation and exhalation. And the second part is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration also, you can see that when the breakdown of glucose happens, the glucose is first converted to pyruvate, which happens in the cytoplasm, and the pyruvate is again broken down to carbon dioxide, water, and energy is being released, and that step happens in mitochondria. Today we are going to study about human respiratory system. Now, human respiration is a much more complex process which involves breathing and the gaseous exchange and the cellular respiration. We are going to study about all these three processes in detail. But before that, we need to understand the different organs or respiratory organs there in the human being. So this is the picture of the respiratory system in our human beings. You can see here we have a nasal passage, that is, it starts from the nose, and through the nasal passage you can see the air from the atmosphere is being taken in, and it's a channel for the airflow through our nose, the passage. And behind the passage you have this cavity. Usually the nasal cavity is being lined with hairs and mucus, so that it filters the air, it warms, it moisturizes, and it filters the air, so the pollutants does not enter our lungs. The next part after the nasal cavity comes the pharynx. Now, pharynx is a place where you can see the esophagus and the windpipe, they have a connection with each other, and later on from the pharynx again here they divide into two, that is the esophagus, it goes to the stomach, and the windpipe, it continues into the larynx, which is the voice box. Here you have the presence of the vocal cords, and after larynx you have this trachea. Now, trachea, it contains rings of cartilage. Cartilage are the type of bones which ensure that the air passage, when the air passes through the trachea, it does not collapse. Okay, so that is a trachea, and this trachea, it divides into two bronchus. A pair of bronchus, you can see here the pair of bronchus which comes out from trachea, and each bronchus, it goes to each lungs. The bronchus goes to each lungs, and when I talk about the lungs, here you can see inside the lungs, the bronchus enters the lungs, and it divides into smaller branches and sub branches, which is divided or you can say which is distributed completely inside the lungs. Okay, and each bronchioles, they end in sac-like structures. These are the sac-like structures which you call it as alveoli. They are the air sacs. Okay, now these air sacs, that is the alveoli, they are made up of a very thin membrane, and here it is near these alveoli that it's a place where the blood capillaries, which is being distributed throughout your body, these capillaries, they open up, and here when near the capillaries, when they open up into the alveoli, the exchange of gases happens here, that is the oxygen from the lungs, that is the one which you breathe in, it gets transferred to the blood capillaries, and from the blood capillaries the carbon dioxide which is being brought from the blood, the body tissues, they are being given into the alveoli, which is being exhaled out from the respiratory system. Okay, so these are the different respiratory organs, and here you can see below the lungs you have a flat sheet like muscular structure, you call it as diaphragm. Now this diaphragm also plays a very important role in the respiration, and the left lung will be bit smaller than the right lung. The reason is because the lungs are very delicate organs, and these lungs and the heart together, they are being protected by the ribs in the chest cavity. Okay, you will find the lungs and the heart inside the chest cavity, and they are being covered by the ribs. And in the left side, you can see, because of the heart has to be accommodated, here you can see the left